What's going on, guys? So today we are going to be talking about this new accessory that we got for our fifth wheel. Now, I know most people will probably quickly identify this as what it is, which is a waste holding tank. It's a portable waste holding tank, and it's designed for those who are boondocking that need to empty their tank but don't want to hitch up their fifth wheel or travel trailer or motorhome and take it over to a dump station. So basically you empty your stuff out into this and then you tow this or walk it over to your dump station. So let's take a closer look at it. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so what you were looking at is the Rhino Tote tank, and this is the 28-gallon version of it. Rhino is a division of Camco, and if you guys are into RVing, you've probably heard of Camco. They make all sorts of equipment for RVs. I picked this up on Amazon for a little over $100, and again, this is a 28-gallon version of it, and it's a pretty good sized tank. So the tank dimensions are roughly, I'm going to say almost 4 feet long, about 2 feet wide, and a little over a foot tall. When this thing is completely full, it's going to weigh over 200 pounds, so you absolutely want to be aware of what you're getting into when you get something like this. Of the different brands that offer something similar to this, this is probably the most popular. Now, there are other brands, and they are popular. But whenever you watch YouTube and you see comparison videos of this product, you'll see that typically this wins out from a pricing perspective and a value perspective over the others. Plus, there's a lot of features that they've done really well with this specific product, including the placement of this valve right here, not only for filling, but if you're going to tip this up to empty it out. Now, when you look deeper into Amazon reviews on any of these products, you'll see a fair number of people who have had mechanical failures. They've had issues with tires or wheels breaking. They've had issues with the plastic tank getting cracked. They've had issues even just lifting up what they thought would be something a little bit easier. So you have to kind of go into something like this understanding it's plastic. If it hit something really hard, if it's dropped during shipment, things like that, it could potentially get damaged. So definitely inspect it before you use it. And whenever you use it, understand what the limitations of something that's made out of plastic are whenever you have 28 gallons worth of liquid inside of the tank. And I would recommend not filling it up completely. Maybe going a little bit light. I always prefer having some overkill, and if you fill this up with 25 gallons or 24 gallons, you're probably less likely to have an issue with it failing as quickly. But that being said, let's look at some of the features. So I really like that they include this valve right here, which only makes sense. I mean, if you didn't have this here, how the heck are you supposed to actually operate it, right? So it's got a valve here. It's a little blade style gate valve. This is where you would actually fill it up from your tank. So you first want to make sure that the sewer connection coming out of your RV is high enough to be able to actually go into this. This is going to be roughly 1.5 feet off the ground, but after you put your actual adapter onto it connected to the side of your RV, you're probably going to want about 14 inches of clearance between the ground and the actual waste valve on your RV, so you get the proper gravity flow feeding into this. So this is where you'd fill it up. It comes with the connector right here, which connects from your RV to this tank, which is really nice. It comes with your reducers, all sorts of adapters, and your clear elbows, which is really nice as well. Lets you see all the fun taking place during the transfer of liquid from your RV to the tank. And once it's full, you either tow it or pull it over to your dump station and simply connect this to your dump station. You can use the same valve, just use a reducer, put it in place, flip this up, and it starts draining. Now, it comes with a really cool adapter right here, which this simply forks underneath here like that, and you can tow it behind your vehicle. So think of it like that, but the other way. So you would hitch it up to your vehicle, and you would tow it. Keep in mind, these are plastic tires. These are plastic wheels. And the failure point I've heard here is right here where these can pop off. Now, this looks a little different than what I've seen on some other YouTube videos. So they have an actual pin holding it in place versus some of the YouTube videos I've seen where it's a cap that's pressed on and that's all that's holding it in place. On the other side, okay, so it's the same thing. And there are bearings inside of here as well. So you have wheel bearings to make this roll a little smoother. So it looks like this is an improved model. They don't have the traditional style push caps that hold the wheels on, and I've heard of a lot of failures with those. So it's good to see that they've improved the design. Up top here, you actually have a vent hole that you want to loosen so it can allow the actual flow to come out of the tank itself. And you're also going to have a spray valve that you can put your hose on, and it will spray the inside out to rinse it, just making it a little easier to clean. Now, something else that's really nice about this that many of the others don't feature is this cool little foot at the end. That's actually a hook, and that hook is designed to hang this on one of the rungs of your ladder on the back of your RV if you have a ladder. So you essentially, when it's empty, of course, just lift it up, hang that over, and then you have these little strap grooves right here so you can strap it to your actual ladder and not have to worry about it flying off while you're going down the road. So very, very cool. I mean, it's definitely a product that fits a certain niche of RV lifestyle, right? If you are boondocking a lot, if you're going out to areas where you don't have a actual sewer connection next to your RV, something like this can come in really, really handy to move all your waste whenever your tank fills up to a authorized dump station where you can dump it out. So again, very cool. Paid a little over $100. Got this on Amazon. I'll put a link on there. This is by far the best value, even though there are arguably better quality products out there. Most of them are going to cost about twice as much. Even the version of this with the wheel up front costs twice as much for the same capacity. And what you do want to realize, again, when this is full, you're going to be upwards of 200 pounds. So lifting it up empty and lifting it up full are two entirely different experiences. And you want to make sure that whenever you filled this up, you have the ability to actually move it to the back of your vehicle so you can tow it to the dump station. If you don't feel you can, then you might be better with the version that does cost more, that has wheels up front that you can roll around a little easier. The other thing you definitely want to do is not go too fast, right? If you're going to be towing this to a dump station, don't treat it as if it's an off-road vehicle or it's capable of handling rough terrain. I would treat it as if you're pulling something very, very fragile behind you, that if you do something wrong, you could very well have a major accident on the side of the road. And this could be leaking stuff that you don't want to be leaking on the side of the road, especially if you're in a park or if you're in an area. And if you're not even to the dump station yet, then you're going to have just a lot of other problems. But that being said, very cool. Definitely something that we'll get a lot of use out of. We've never really needed to use these in the past because even when we boondock, we haven't boondocked long enough to need to dump our actual tanks until we leave, and then we get to a dump station and dump the tanks. But we are going to be doing longer stay boondocking simply because we have solar now. We have the ability to stay out off grid a little bit longer, and this will give us the ability to extend those stays out so we don't have to disconnect everything, move the RV over to a dump station, dump it, then bring it back. That's just totally inconvenient and not what RVing's about. Okay, and if you guys remember, we added these really cool upper portions of the bumper to be able to support the rack and those rubber bushings whenever the rack is down. And we wondered what we were going to use these for other than supporting the rack. And check this out. So I have my sewer hose inside here, and now I have my tote connections on this side. I can close that up. I can put this hose inside of that hose. Oh, I think I can. Well, I may not be able to do that. Yeah, this is a little bit longer than that assembly. I can put that inside. And then, let me pull this off right here. And here are all my connections, which I can actually put some of them on the other side over there, maybe. I don't think this will fit. I'll probably just put these inside in my sewer bin up front. But yeah, I can keep the small hose section right there and one less thing to store inside the basement storage area. So it's a win-win. Worked out really well. And like I said, I got these extra storage tubes now on the top for smaller things. And this is what it looks like strapped to the back. You have the hook right there going around the ladder rung. I'm using bungee cords just for a few days while it's in here. I'm gonna replace those with straps. I just didn't have any straps on me today. And they'll band around there, and then around there, I'll tighten it down, and it'll just make sure it doesn't go anywhere. But it's really cool. I mean, definitely doesn't take up any additional space that you might need for storage, which is really nice. And just by being able to mount it to the back ladder gives you a lot of flexibility. So even though we don't look forward to using this, we look forward to using it, if that makes sense. I'll put a link in the description of the video if this is something you may be interested in. Again, I got it from Amazon, and it was a little over $100. So for 28 gallons worth of portability, I think it really makes a lot of sense. But only time will tell to see how we like it and like using it. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.